The music is way too loud. It's almost like if you had John Williams and Danny Elfman fighting each other.
Right.
If they like if Danny Elfman and John Williams got into a fight at a bar, their soundtrack would be this, or their score would be this.
I don't know which one of you two to give the contract to.
Boom, 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 the house with a clock up its ass or something. What's it called?
The house with the clock in the wall.
The house with the clock in the wall. And as if the name wasn't getting people all confused, they got real confused when they heard about the director. Because people heard Eli Roth. Eli Roth is making a family film. And some people say, well, you making a film about a family of murderers? Or are you making a film where you murder a whole family?
Right.
Because Eli Roth, y'all know he don't do no family films. He don't do anything close to it.
No, I feel like the most family film he's been associated with was Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. Yeah, man, this man don't do nothing close to a family film. No. Even rated R movies be like, fuck that, I ain't touching this. Eli Roth is here?
Y'all give that an R? Okay.
Yeah, man, this dude is insane. Because if you've ever seen any of his movies, such as the infamous Hostel, and also equally as infamous, almost for a different reason, but Green Inferno. These are movies where he loves to show us people being tortured and torn apart, screaming for 5 minutes before they actually die.
Damn.
Yeah, this dude, he's got...
I've never seen either of those.
He's got a bloodlust. Actually, Green Inferno, that's some bullshit, but...
I know Hostel affected you personally.
But Hostel...
You still have tremors when you talk about it today.
I love Hostel. Hostel, I know people criticize Hostel, but Hostel it was hard like I like it, where the true horror... It comes from us, Mark. Human on human violence.
Oh, that's why you still love The Walking Dead.
That's not, man, don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say I love no Walking Dead.
You don't?
And that ain't no human against human violence.
Yeah, it is.
That's zombies. That don't count.
The zombies are secondary now.
All right. Meanwhile, Eli Roth is like, hey guys, we talking about me, right? He's even broke a few skulls and bashed in a few brains himself. He's killed a few people, and he was the Jew Bear, mauling Nazis and Inglourious Bastards. And, people, so they hear about Eli Roth, and Eli Roth, it turns out that Eli Roth is so crazy he had to take a break from himself. It's almost like Eli Roth just sat back and just looked at a catalog of all his movies like, Jesus Christ, there's something wrong with me. I'm fucked up, man.
I got to do something different.
He's like, I better make a kids movie before I actually...
My therapist says I have to do a kids movie.
Yeah. Before I actually start killing kids. Or just people. Yeah, man, before I start eating human beings, I better make a kids movie. Cleanse myself every now and then. So, now he says, look, I'm still going to freak the little motherfuckers out.
Oh, of course.
The house with the clocks in the walls.
The clock. The one singular clock in the wall.
Okay. The clock up under the bed. Now, the house with the clock in the wall. That's where we get this right here. That's when we get Lewis, who loses his parents at the tender age of 10 when he goes to live with his weird-ass Uncle Jonathan. As Uncle Jonathan and his older but still very hot neighbor, they dabble in that magic, Martin. But, you start messing with that magic. Man, magic is like drugs, man. It can corrupt.
Yeah, I'm like Alan. I don't do magic.
Yeah, and that especially when you get that dark magic. That's what Lewis is wondering. He's like, okay, my uncle, he says he does good magic, but he's got a lot of weird shit around the house. And this house is kind of gone crazy right now.
And you don't turn a lot of lights on in here.
Yeah, it's real dark, and you doing crazy shit in the middle of the night. Lewis said, listen, Uncle kind of, he's got a lot of charisma. He's kind of cool. He's taking me in.
He's fun.
He's fun, but I don't know if I should pack my shit up and go because I fear for my life right now. Is Lewis doing the right thing staying with Uncle Jonathan? What kind of dark magic are they dabbling in? And should Lewis indeed run for his life? Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer.
How was your trip?
This old hag is my neighbor.
I'm relieved to see you didn't inherit your uncle's freakishly oversized head.
My God, did that withered purple skeleton just speak?
like, why don't y'all fuck each other already? I know. What you saying? I was like, what, really?
Hey, I know I'm 10, but I see what's going on here.
You're like, Uncle, I see you got a heart on right now for this so-called hag right here. Yeah, sure.
Are you saying that you're a warlock? Please teach me, please, please.
Okay.
Okay, I got to stop right here. I don't mean to keep interrupting the trailer, but if you listen, this kid just knocked out 2 other 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
And no adult did shit about it. These kids are knocked on the ground, concussions, probably dead. Nobody yelled for the school nurse.
You know why?
Why?
Because it was the 50s. And getting the school nurse didn't happen unless there was actual blood.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that whole getting the school nurse just because a kid got knocked out, they would have told you to, like, come on, get up and walk it off.
Those kids, see, those kids ain't getting up and walking off shit.
Like the whole, like, all this anti-bullying we got now, that wasn't even a concept back then.
I'm like, and nobody called the police on little murderous ass Lewis or anything. Just left these, you know what, the janitor clean these kids up later.
Sure. But you think about everything that happened up to this point, all the shit they had done to him. No adult stepped in.
That don't mean that adults look at other kids. That's bullying, and then there's fucking murder with witnesses around. Don't nobody do shit right here. That's just an indication of what kind of movie you watching right now.
Lucky shot.
No, it's murder.
Told Lewis everything?
This house used to be owned by another warlock.
He's very wicked, very powerful.
Now, even though Eli Roth is the one that directed this movie, as we've been reminding you throughout this review, it's more like it's really more like if Tim Burton directed a Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
You know, because it does have that feel. And, you know, and if that was the case, this movie would definitely be that film. If anybody's wanting to see a Harry Potter a Tim Burton Harry Potter directed movie, then this is probably a dream come true for you. Because this feels very much, and maybe it's because of the Halloween theme, but it feels very much like a Tim Burton movie.
It definitely has strong elements of both. I mean, I'd say it's derivative of both.
Yeah. Shit, I think they filmed this in Tim Burton's house. You know,
it's as if Tim Burton said, you know what, I just want to show you what I could have done with it.
Yeah.
And I got a couple weekends to work on.
Yeah. Christmas time, Tim Burton still got them pumpkins out there. Tim, come on, man. Just 1 year, get with the goddamn program.
Here, I'll put a Santa Claus hat on one of them. How about that?
First of all, this is probably something that influenced J.K. Rowling. This probably influenced a lot of things, because not only does this feature wizardry and magic, it's also based on a book that is considered a young adult novel. You know, people thought young adult was something that we thought of like in the early 2000s. That's been around since 1973. That's when this book by John Bellairs was made, written, The House with a Clock in the Walls, 1973. It was considered a YA novel. Even with drawings by Edward Gorey. Exactly. Who was known for drawing creepy books. Exactly. They actually had a TV version of this, and it wasn't just based on that. That's why some people might not remember. It was called
based on several of the books.
It was based on different stories. It was called Once Upon a Midnight Scary, and they put different things in there like the Headless Horseman, Sleepy Hollow, and things like that. But it was hosted by Vincent Price, and one of the segments in there was sort of an abridged version of The House with the Clock in the Walls.
I have such a busy night ahead.
Vincent Price always laughing about something.
What's so goddamn funny?
For a man who's supposed to be scary, you sure are happy all the time. He's always laughing about something. Look like he missing teeth. See, I think Vincent Price just be smoking weed half the time. So you can see how this probably has an influence on J.K. Rowling with the magic part. You know, J.K. Rowling has her books that are said to be for kids, but they're, you know, adults like them too. It's considered young adult. And this also definitely has a big influence on Tim Burton, because as Martin said, this has illustrations by Edward Gorey. And if you've probably seen Edward Gorey's illustrations, they're like black and white etchings, and they're very They're very morbid. I mean, he goes as far as to draw kids being dead. He has a list of nursery rhymes, and one of them has a little girl lying out in the middle of the snow with an axe dead in her chest. The house itself is one big character. You know, in the house, while it's shadowy and it's got sort of a spooky atmosphere, it's more like a cartoon spook house, like at Disneyland or something.
Yeah.
And most of the objects that are in the house, they're meant to be funny themselves, like funny side characters. They're either little funny side characters, or they're even treated as house pets.
You can eat cookies till you throw up for all I care. You'll see.
But I don't want
Things are
diabetes like you.
quite different here.
See, that's what I love about this house. If there's anything that's creepy about the house, is that it loves to fuck with Lewis. Little Lewis, when little Lewis comes in, that kid is already easy target because he's already weird and he's really nerdy, man. I mean, he's also kind of full of himself. Like he comes in and he's already telling his uncle, I like to read the dictionary. And I like to memorize big words. You know, already saying like, oh, I'm smarter than you, uncle.
Right.
You know, and that house looks at him, and that house says, you know what? I got this bitch. This house said, man, I know it's a kid, but this is too easy. I'm gonna get your little ass. Little Lewis be roaming the halls
Now, what's
at
your
night.
$5 word for that?
Yeah. Yeah. What's a big word for bitch? Because little Lewis be roaming the halls at night. And that house always finds a way to hide behind a corner, wait for him to turn around and go like, ah! And Lewis is such a bitch that he's always like, I mean, what's the actor's name?
Owen Vaccaro.
The kid actually is pretty good.
Yeah, he's not a bad actor.
It's the character. And I like that they actually I think they purposely tried to make him not likable.
I don't know about that.
Because there's everybody that tells him, like, wow, man, just stop being fucking weird. You know, and he's crying for everything. Where even the people have reactions like, damn, I didn't even say anything, man.
Yeah, well, him being weird, them telling him to not be weird, that's to make everyone who goes to see this movie, who feels like an outcast, to go like, hey, leave him alone, let him be who he wants to be. That could easily endear you to him. I mean, that I didn't have a problem with. He cried and wailed and screamed, Uncle Jonathan, just way too much. I would love to see the script to see how often that's written on the page.
Yeah.
It's like copy, paste, 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 paste.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. He just lost his parents. He's a little shook up. He ain't got no dad to teach him to be a man and all that kind of, but I mean, really, it gets to a point where all that shrieking and crying, it's like, all right, boy, you need to grow the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm tired of this.
Plus, it's like, look, you've seen some of this stuff already. You can't keep crying over it.
Yeah.
And like, Uncle John, I'm in danger. Yes, we're all in danger. That's been established.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stop. What you're doing right now, that ain't helping nobody.
But another thing that's added to the creepiness of the movie is that it starts out as a mystery. And the book is even classified by some people as, okay, yeah, it's got elements of magic, fantasy, and horror in there. But really, there's a lot of mystery going on. And it works well for a setup. You know, why is Uncle Jonathan, played by Jack Black, why is he roaming the halls at night? Why are things in the house moving by themselves? Is this magic? Is this a haunting? Is this ghosts? We don't know. And where is that ticking coming from? Where's the clock? The center of the whole mystery. Where is that coming from, and why is it there? And why has it been there for years? And why is it so hard to find? There's a lot of questions that they bring up that really grab you in the film, make you intrigued, and it's a great hook to get you to string you along as you try to find answers. For me, the mystery dropped somewhere and after the first 20 or so minutes, and we get to this point where Uncle Jonathan is trying to teach Lewis magic. And while it's endearing and it's bonding and it's cute and got some cool effects, it really starts to take away from the story. The story loses momentum because of that. I feel they're going for a lot of, not only just for the visuals, but they're going for visual gags. Did you see this?
Yes, I saw this. Because it does start out intriguing enough. Matter of fact, all the setup for it is really, really good.
Yeah.
And you get introduced to Jack Black and Cate Blanchett right away. And they make this movie. because
Yeah,
they put everything into it. They got great chemistry with each other.
Yeah.
The way they insult each other, but you can tell they really like each other, and they just have these great personalities, and they drive this film. So even though it starts out about Lewis, it quickly becomes about them. It's as if the movie often loses its objective. Because but it's like we were heading towards something, and it's like, all right, we'll teach you magic, and then they're like, hey, the audience here, who's a young audience, they're Lewis, and they want to be taught the magic.
Yeah.
And yet the ways in which it's done, nothing all that special. I mean, he might as well have been teaching him stage magic.
Yeah, he jumped into it quick too.
Yeah,
it's almost like, listen, the way he's teaching him magic is like anybody can learn magic.
Yeah.
It's like there's no apprenticeship, there's no skill here. It's like, shit, just read this book and ta-da! Pull the rabbit right out my ass. Look at this.
I mean, if it were 1973, it'd be like, okay, well, just watch these YouTube videos, and then you can cast some spells too.
Shit, they make it look like magic that you can buy at a magic shop.
Right.
You know, it goes so quick, and I like Jack Black a lot in the movie. I mean, Jack Black is already kind of a likable actor anyway.
Yeah.
But
he's toned down enough to make this really work.
Well, he is toned down. He goes in, he does a little showboat, and he gets to play an instrument like he does in some movies sometimes. Granted, here badly and comedically, but it still turns to a moment where he's just gonna let Jack Black take the stage and do what he does and ad lib for a little bit, do some physical humor, and that slows the movie down. You can feel where it stops, and it's the Jack Black hour. It's not trying to be a piece of art or anything.
Right,
It's a studio film that wants to entertain, but some of the jokes they have in here are even too lowbrow for a movie like this.
What smells of rancid sulfur?
Bad kitty!
Even for a children's movie, that's childish. And what's so childish about it? First of all, they didn't even have to do it. The movie was already going along just fine.
I know.
Without it, and then it's not enough for the bush to fart. The bush got to have full-on diarrhea.
Yeah.
I'm just like, come on, man. It was bad enough that you forced a fart into the movie. Did you have to make the bush take a shit too?
You know what's really bad is that having that griffin, it's actually a cool thing to have in your movie, but all it ever does is fart.
This poor lion got. Y'all need to give this lion some Pepto or change his diet or something, because this lion.
Yeah, take it off dairy.
This lion, whatever fertilizer y'all giving this lion right here, y'all need to stop, because this is continuous through the movie where it's not even fun anymore. It's like this bush needs some help. It's just that the movie was aiming high earlier in the film, and then we hit that moment where the story momentum is lost. Then they start doing things cheaply, like going for a cheap giggle for the kids.
Yeah, well, it's not just the cheap giggles and gags, but even the story points are just kind of cheap. It becomes like everything in the beginning where it's like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? After that, it's so much of it is like, yeah, and then they did this, and then they went for that one, and then they did this, and this is the relationship between these two.
Yeah.
And, bullies are standard.
I'm saying Lewis is such a little bitch that he got chased out of IMDb by his bully.
Right.
I'm serious. If you go to IMDb and try to look up the actor that plays Lewis, you're not gonna find him. Third billing, which should be Lewis, is Lewis's bully. I think that's what his name is in the movie too. Who are you? I beat the shit out of Lewis.
He ain't here no more. Don't worry about it.
The actor's name is Sonny Suljic, and that's him right there. I did find it interesting that it wasn't just a bully victim relationship.
Sure.
They did something interesting with the bullying here. The kid that plays him, he plays a kid named Tarby, and I wish they were able to like go deeper with it. If they were going to get away off the main plot line, they did have something going on with these two, because Tarby is a bully, but for some reason he really likes. I'm not gonna say why, but he really likes Lewis, and people are like, he gay? No, man, get your mind out of it. No, there's a reason why he's taking it to Lewis, and I like that at some moment he can be really. I mean, like he's kind of scary to me, because there's one moment he could be like really aggressive and vicious, and there's a moment that he sits down with Lewis and like, hey man, take that shit off, that bow tie. I'm just telling you as a friend.
Right.
I'm trying to make your life easier, man. It's almost like there's something going on where you can't tell, does Tarby really like Lewis, or is there something going on that we don't know yet? And it is a point where that plot, for me, that plot kind of kept me guessing.
Well, it did, in as much as you don't expect him to warm up to Tarby, but without anything actually gay, it's almost like they had a summer romance. And then school started back up, and it's like, all right, I don't know.
It really was some moments where they were so close. I thought, I'm not even trying to make light here, but I knew they weren't going to do it, but it looked like the way they were being friends, and then they get into a room by themselves, and Tarby just like, come here. I was like, he's going to rape Lewis. I was like, let's get him out of there, man. I know I keep calling him a little wimp, and I've even made an argument for him getting beat up. But really, the actor, he's got some great reactions to things, man. Like especially when all the crazy magic starts coming up, and all the weird stuff, and he does these like what the fuck is going on? Look, or he does these double takes, and that right there is where you really do connect with him because you are looking at all these crazy things the same way.
Well, like I said, in the beginning, I was with him, and I don't think the kid's a bad actor, but I think when it came time for, when we get to the third act and everything's happening, he had one mode, which was screech.
I think that's a problem with the script and not with the actor. I'm complimenting him as an actor when they gave him good material to work with. I thought it was a shame that as it went on, he did become a little more cowardly, and that's why I knew that they want that character to be that way, maybe to a fault, because he even somebody said, "Be brave, Lewis," and be like, "Lewis, that shit, I ain't brave. I'm a coward.
I am the least brave person you will ever meet."
He said, "Do you not see these nerdy ass shoes and this bow tie I got on? What the hell you think? Yeah, you looking at me to save your life, you dead." Lewis is out. Throughout the film, there have been people that were able to bring it back, like you said, Jack Black and Cate Blanchett.
Yeah,
that was they were keeping the movie kind of held down because their characters are enjoyable. Although nobody's buying this bullshit with Cate Blanchett being a hag. I know. I'm like, no, y'all need to get.
You put some gray in her hair. That's cute.
Yeah, you put an old granny wig on her, put some gray in her. Like, I don't know what y'all were thinking. I don't know what Jack Black is thinking with this hag, but nobody's buying that bullshit.
This old hag is my next door neighbor, Mrs. Florence Zimmerman.
I'm relieved to see you didn't inherit your uncle's freakishly oversized head.
Huh. Says the woman who literally looks like a Q-tip.
Yo, yeah, you would hit that shit if she put it out there. That's why you mad, because she won't let you fuck. But you watch her and Jack Black work together, but she really is good in this movie, man. I just enjoy watching her act, man. She between her and there are not moments with them where they're just joking around either. There are real emotional moments between those two.
Oh yeah.
And I like that they just, they never really make anything obvious, but I do like that between her and Jack Black. I don't know what happens in books later. I don't know what's going on, but they do treat it like a good soap opera in that you really want to know, what's going to happen with Jack and Diane, whatever,
Well, I mean, for all you know, they were friends, and maybe they did have a fling at one point. It didn't work out, and they just went back to being friends, but it's been icy ever since then.
Yeah, but I think that's one of the cool things that they did in the movie. They gave you just little hints of their relationship, and you were guessing, like you said, like, okay, what, because if you were drinking with them, you'd be like, come on, y'all. Did y'all, y'all fuck, did you? You would, but
That's so you to do that.
Fuck all this magic shit. Did y'all have
I'm
sex?
trying to get real with y'all.
Yeah. I'm going to tell y'all right now, because they got moments that are dark and disturbing for grown-ass people. They had now y'all know that because some of y'all looking at this trailer, and I know y'all saying, you probably ain't saying that loud, but some people looking at this trailer like, nah, hell no, I ain't going to see this, because y'all seen them dolls and the ventriloquist dummies in there. And when they get to that part, it really it is honestly creepy. Now they do still keep it in the realm of a kids movie, but just the imagery, man, those things were weird.
Yeah,
walking in the dark, making little noises and talking, play with me. Are they trying to kill people?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Another thing that makes those especially that creepy, I mean, besides that it's already in everybody's subconscious, is that it's one of the effects they do that's practical, so it feels real, where they have a lot of stuff they do that's CG, and they don't have the budget for so much of what they're trying to pull off.
You know what? That is true. That is true. Like these effects right here, and I'm playing the trailer for those who are watching. Like a lot of it is practical. I mean, except for like, they jump around and stuff like that. But what you see right there with the dummies up close and the dolls up close, that is practical effects, and it's very, very good.
Yeah, it's a thing where it keeps flip flopping because you get that scene with the dummies that's genuinely gets under your skin.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got them fighting the CG pumpkins, and it's just kind of goofy, and it's like, well.
And even then, they don't need to push it, because even those pumpkins right there was a little girl sitting in front of me. I think you heard him probably, but she had that thing where she kept wanting to watch, but she was scared, and she toughed it out. But every now and then she's like, and the mom had to be like, it's all right. She's like, we take you outside. And so for kids, I mean, if you want to say scaring the shit out of them is effective, then it did. Even those pumpkins did. And they have some other things in there in the climax that is very ghoulish, and it could be very scary for small kids. I'm talking about toddlers and 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. A 7-year-old, be a man. But, the ending of it, the third act is just anticlimactic. Yeah. It's, first of all, it's, they want to be epic, but it's still sort of in an enclosed area. And they have the same wizard effects that we've seen with an evil villain that has, he has an interesting motive, but we didn't get to spend any time with him at all. Like, for the reason why he wanted to do what he wanted to do was like, that's interesting. We on some Killmonger shit right here. Yeah. But we didn't get enough.
Very Thanos-ish.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah. But we did not get enough time to spend with this character for it to have an impact, for it to mean anything.
True. And they do a very creative flashback with him.
They do.
I thought that was really well done.
The music in this, the music is so distracting. The music is way too loud. It's almost like if you had John Williams and Danny Elfman fighting each other.
Right.
If they like if Danny Elfman and John Williams got into a fight at a bar, their soundtrack would be this, or their score would be this.
Which one of you two to give the contract to? Boom, 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 boom,
that music is hardly. I mean, it got quiet moments in there, but it's hardly ever subtle. And as the music, as the climax builds, the music builds too, as we should with most climaxes. But it's just way too much. It's never really pulled back enough to really be, to really have an intimate moment with this film or these characters.
Yeah.
The scariest thing in the movie for me is this really bad Jack Black CG effect.
Okay, people were laughing at, and in concept it was funny, but the CG was so bad.
That CG was horrible. I think people were laughing. Well, okay, first of all, people laugh because they had a free movie, but other people laughing like, what the fuck is that?
Like, there's times we'll say it looked like it was a video game, but this looked like a PS2 video game, maybe PS1.
They have a fake Jack Black, a CG Jack Black near the end of this movie, and his eyes are hardly moving.
Yeah, his eyes are hardly moving. He's got way more hair than the Jack Black we just saw 2 seconds ago.
Yeah. And every time it moves, I mean, it is the creepiest effect, unintentionally. Every time he moves, it moves like this, and it's like, man, this is not convincing. Now, if y'all wanted to go for horrifying in a worse way, then fine, but this does not look good.
Yeah, or if you made it funnier. I know it's supposed to be funny because of the way he is, but it's like, it's not funny enough to offset how jarring it is.
He looked like a Chuck E. Cheese animatronic, man. Hi, I'm Jack Black. Let's play some music.
Hello, boy
Yeah.
and girl.
I hear we have a birthday kid in the room.
And a 1 and a 2.
Mom, I want to go home. Shit. It's so. I laughed out loud. I know y'all didn't do this shit.
I know.
You would expect me to buy that. Not on this big ass screen. This cheap ass CG effect right here that look like something off a PS2. I'm not going to be too hard on this because I think that it's a good adventure for the kids. For me, it's a rental, but I could definitely see kids being taken to this. But I give it a matinee for the kids.
I think this is a really good movie for Halloween. I think
yes.
it has the potential to be a good, enduring Halloween classic.
Mm-hmm.
For the kids, if they're dying to see it, a low matinee, but you gotta be ready that you might have to take them out of there.
Yeah.
If they get too scared. But
yeah.
for the most part, I'd say it's a high one.
Yeah. There you go.